Sooner than Later podcast, episode 2. Welcome back. And we back like we never left. Listen, I know it's been a minute. A lot has occurred since the last time we saw each other. I mean, we've had Valentine's Day pass by. We've had probably an entire month pass by. Your boy has been on the road speaking at multiple schools, middle schools, high schools, dealing with students, dealing with principals. And when I say dealing with, I mean that in the most positive way. Getting the opportunity to have some of the most powerful conversations there are to have in the school system, because that's my heart. That's what I love to do. I love to impact the youth. But today, we are back with the Sooner than Later podcast, episode 2, and we're going to talk about something that I think everybody's going to appreciate. Today, we're talking about purpose. We're talking about purpose. I'm your host, your boy Remy, Remy Inspires, whatever you know me by. And I just want to say, I love you. I love you so much, and I'm glad that you're here. And that I love you is a little awkward, I'm not going to lie. But I do love you. You know why I love you? Because you're watching my podcast. And that's a big deal to me, because you don't know how much it took for me to get to the point where I even started this podcast. At one point, not gonna lie, I wasn't sure was it gonna happen. And even after the first episode, I was like, ooh, are we gonna keep this going? But I'm a big believer in finishing what you start. And I gave myself a 10 episode limit. I said, you know what? If we only do one season, we're going to at least do 10 episodes to see. And I saw a comment yesterday from someone that said, when is the next episode of your podcast coming out? It was so good. So I said, you know what? I'm going to record the next episode tomorrow. And tomorrow's today. And you want to know what's so funny about me saying I'm going to record the next episode tomorrow, and tomorrow being today? This is probably the 5th or 6th time I've said I was going to record the next episode tomorrow. This just happened to be the tomorrow that I actually decided to record the next episode. So you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. No, I'm just playing. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm grateful that God gave me 6 chances to finally record this episode, because what the heck? Who takes this long to come out with episode number 2? Who takes this long to get started with the purpose of the episode? So let me shut my mouth and get to it. Today, we're going to talk about purpose. We're going to talk about how to find your purpose. What is purpose? Like what the enemy does to try to stop us from fulfilling and living in our purpose. Why is purpose so important? I don't know if you know this, but I am a purpose coach. I have coached a lot of people into their purpose, through their purpose. And honestly, I don't know if there's anything I love more than that. Like for real, like I love a lot of things. I love helping people find their purpose. It's one of those things people always ask me, like, how do you know how to help people find their purpose? Like, what qualifies you to do that? Like, what kind of gift do you have? I'm gonna be honest with you. All I did was go through a whole bunch of things to find my purpose, read a bunch of books on purpose, prayed a lot about purpose, and then I reverse engineered what it took for me to find mine. And all I did was just break that into parts, and then created a purpose assessment test. And from there, I've just been able to help people find a purpose. Oh, and most importantly, I lean into the Holy Spirit, and he just reveals to me. And I've been blessed to be able to actually help people find their purpose in ways where they are able to, like, let me say it like this. I've been able to help people find their purpose to the point where I have like real life testimonials of people like that took my purpose class or took my, or participated in my purpose coaching, and they are real deal living in their purpose right now. So if you need help finding your purpose, get with your boy. I promise you I can help you. All right. I don't want to hold you guys long today. So let's get into it. Let's talk about purpose. What is purpose and what is purpose not? Purpose is a combination between your experiences, your pain, your gifts, and your passion. It always helps other people. But most importantly, most people know their purpose already. They just lack the confidence to believe that they already know it. I'm going to say that again. Most people already know their purpose. They just lack the confidence to live in that purpose, to walk out their purpose, to fulfill that purpose. Like, you're probably watching this right now, and the truth is you probably already know your purpose. You don't need my help. You don't need Tony Robbins' help. You don't need ET's help. You don't need that preacher's help. You just need to get Godfidence, which is confidence in that God knows what he is doing, and he knew what he was doing when he created you. And when you get that, you will live in your purpose. But the problem is that most people are so insecure, battling so many insecurities, dealing with so much self-doubt, so much self-hatred, that they don't live in their purpose. I need you to understand, it don't matter how much self-hatred, how much self-doubt, how many insecurities you have. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. If you weren't supposed to be here on this thing called Earth, on this planet called Earth, on this globe, you would not be here. God put you here for a reason. Why? Because you have a purpose. What is that purpose? It's a combination of the things that you love, of your passions, of your gifts, of your experiences, of your pain. And you combine all of that together. And guess what? Boom, you have purpose. So for example, somebody right now, you may be watching this and you grew up in a foster home and you felt abandoned, but you had to figure out a way to make it without having your biological parents in your life. And throughout all of that time, you learned how to keep going and how to persevere. And you graduated college and you worked really hard, grinded tooth and nail to get there. And now you have your bachelor degree. Now you have your doctorate, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you've accomplished something that nobody thought you could do. And so what do? What is your purpose? To go back and save more kids, right? To go help more kids get out of the system, to help more kids that are in the system become better than what you even became. And you can go relate to those children. You can go talk to them about what it feels like to be abandoned. You can make them feel seen in ways that nobody else can make them feel seen. And to me, that's what I think about when I think about purpose. I just think about you imagining what you have gone through, how it affected you. What did you learn from it? And how you can go help somebody else that's going through the same thing right now. I know for me, finding purpose was something that was very hard. It was very challenging. I'm not going to lie. When I started playing basketball, I didn't know what my identity was after that. I didn't know who I was, what I was here for, what else was I good for. So I started making clothes. I had a clothing line. I have 2 clothing lines that did really good. But I don't want to talk about that too long. They did really good. Sooner than later, which this podcast is named after, God is the plug. But then after that, it was still like something missing. I love fashion, but I was like, something's missing. And look, I want you to take a note right there. Sometimes we will mistake something that we love for our purpose, and it's not that simple. Because sometimes the thing that we love doesn't impact other people. It's something that you love, and it's something you can make money from, but it does not necessarily mean it's your purpose. See, one of my clothing brands, which is the Sooner Than Later brand, it was a motivational brand. And with that brand, I was on the purpose path. See, I like to call it a purpose highway. Purpose highway. When you get on the purpose highway, you're going in one direction. And it doesn't matter which lane you switch into, long as you're on that highway. You just got to make sure that when you get in certain lanes, you do it in God's timing. But then there are going to be different exits that you can take. And you want to be careful to make sure that you don't get off on the wrong exit while you are on your purpose highway. So I was on my purpose highway. When I started the clothing brand, I was on my purpose highway. I just had to switch into the right lane at the right time. And I wasn't ready then. So I had the Sooner Than Later brand. And then the day came and I got a chance to switch lanes. I only say I got a chance. I would say I had to switch lanes because I felt like something was calling me. God said, make videos. I'm like, make videos. God, why would you tell me to make videos? You ever had God tell you to do something and you were thinking to yourself, Lord, this don't make sense? Or you was thinking to yourself, this can't be God? Why would God tell me to make videos? Why would God tell me to start a clothing line? Why would God tell me to start a cooking business? Why would God tell me to stop talking to that person? Sometimes God is going to tell you to start doing something or stop doing something that's not going to make earthly sense to you. But that's why the scripture says that God's ways are higher than our ways and that we will never understand things the way that he understands things. That's what makes him almighty. That's what makes him Alpha and Omega. That's what makes him the creator. That's what makes him the beginning and the end. And it's quicker that we can accept that, the sooner we can walk into our blessings, the sooner we can walk into our breakthrough, the sooner we can walk into our miracles, the sooner we can get healing, because so many of us are blocking what God has for us because we are so focused on trying to make sense out of what we cannot understand. But I digress. So I didn't understand why God was saying, make videos. I didn't get it. I was trying to make sense out of it. And so I didn't for like a year. Then about another year passed by. And I remember I was working at a cell phone company. Shout out to AT&T, not really. Hated that job. And I was working there. Hated my boss too. And I was working there. And I remember being like, Lord, I don't want to be here anymore, and I can't stand it here. And Lord, I'm so tired of this. This is hurting me. It was painful. Like, it was painful. Have you ever been somewhere in life that you had to be, but you didn't want to be, and it hurt? It was disappointing. It was depressing. And it had you constantly questioning, what were you here for? It made you feel like you didn't have purpose, or you at least knew you weren't living in it. And it just makes your entire life feel so gray. If that's you right now, I just want you to know what you feel is valid. But what's also true is that there is more on the other side. There's more on the other side of where you are right now. The same way that there was more on the other side when I was working in that cell phone company. I just had to figure out what God was saying. And then I had to believe that it might be him and take a step of faith in a direction I felt like he was telling me to potentially walk in. I wasn't sure. I wasn't certain. I didn't know if I was right, but I knew I had to try something because anything would be better than where I was. Anything. So I put myself in a position where I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try making these videos and I'm going to see what comes from that. So I made a video. I made one. All right. And once again, I'm working at AT&T. I made the first video. Boom. Okay. Make the second video. Boom. Make the third video. Now, you got to understand, I'm not aspiring to be a speaker. I don't think nobody understands that part. I was obeying God on something that did not match my dreams or my desires. I still had desires. Well, at that point, I had lost my clothing brand. I was struggling financially, so I can't even say, I don't even know where my aspirations stood at that point. Honestly, at that point, I was just lost. I was confused. I was focused on God. I was following God heavily. Like I was really, really, really chasing after Christ at that point. But long story short, I just remember God said, make those videos. And I remember after I made 1, 2, 3, the third video, and these are just like little videos on my cell phone, nothing high quality, nothing major, right? Nothing to brag about. Like I got to stop right there and I got to make sure you understand what I'm saying. God told me to do something. I did not wait until I had the equipment to do it. I did wait about 2 years to obey, but once I obeyed, I did not focus on what other people had that I did not have before obeying. I just did what I could with what I had because I had already put 2 years off. So at that point, it was like, if I'm going to obey, I just need to obey, not try to obey my way. And I know somebody right now need to hear that because you're watching this and you can relate. You would try to wait until you got the right camera. You would try to wait until you got the right resource. You would try to wait until you got the right advice. You would try to wait until you got the right team to support you. Listen, when God says go, he knows something that you don't know. So just step into it. Just step into it. Just step into it. It's so much easier said than done. If I could tell younger me anything, it would simply be go as soon as God says go because he knows something that you don't know. Step into it with what you have because all you have is way more than you need. Way more than you need. So I make the freaking videos. 3 of them. A lot of you not. I don't know how long it was, but quickly right after that, I got a call from a youth pastor. He says, hey, Remy, we want to have you come speak at our church conference. Hold on. I want you to hear me on this. Hear me on this. He said, Remy, we want you to come speak at our youth conference. Yeah, we're going to pay you. We got you. We're going to give you a speaker's fee. Whew, honorarium? We going to put you in a hotel. What? We're going to give you gas money. What? Come on down. I'm at a loss for words. I'm trying to make sense out of this. Why me? Why me, Chief? Why you want me to come speak? What makes me so good? Keep in mind, at this point in my life, I'm not even trying to be a speaker. But I have speaking experience. You want to know how I have speaking experience? From those 3 videos. From those 3 videos. Now, seriously, in addition to that, I was also serving. I was also serving in a youth ministry at that time. Now, at the time, I didn't see the connection between the two. And I saw no connection between the two. I was just like, why'd you choose me? And he said, we chose you because Well, he said, I chose you because I saw the rubber band video. The rubber band video was a video where I was basically talking about God stretching you using a rubber band. And I mean, that's so cliche, but that's all it was. And he just knew something was in me. Listen, let me say this. What he didn't know that day was that he planted a seed. That day, he planted a seed in my life that has been being watered till this day, that has been growing till this day, that has been impacting people till this day, that has been inspiring other people till this day, till this day, till this day. Because of the seed that Pastor Charlie planted into my life. That youth pastor is now a pastor. But the seed that he planted in my life. I mean, like, I just want you to hear that, because sometimes I need you to understand some people are worth taking a risk on. Sometimes God may ask you to do something you don't even know that you asking somebody to do something that's going to be the beginning of the rest of their life, whether you know it or they know it. That's why it's important to obey. So I'm so glad he obeyed. Now, the interesting thing about this was that during that same season, I was serving in a youth ministry, and I was a leader of a small group, but the small group I had was not small. It was led by me and another leader. I'm going to be honest, her and I, we were like the ultimate teammates. Like, we were like Batman and Robin. Like, I don't even know if that's fair to say. It's more like Batman and Batman, Superman and Superman. Like, you know, take your two best favorite superheroes and put them together. That's what we were like. Neither one of us had experience leading a small group, but man, we knew what we were doing. And together we were killing it. But I remember in that small group, something specific that would happen very often. I would notice how a lot of the kids would gravitate to me to ask me questions. I even remember my co-leader, there being times where people would ask a question and she would look over and be like, I don't know, Remy, what you got? I don't know. Ask Remy. Like, she would even sometimes throw the question to me, which that meant a lot because she was a very knowledgeable person, very, very, very smart, smarter than me. And so the fact that she would even say that a lot of times, I was like, something's here. But at this point, I'm still not wanting to be a speaker. Now, this is when it got interesting. The kids started coming up to me saying stuff like, why you don't ever speak? Why they don't ever ask you to speak? Why you don't ever preach? Why you don't ever be on stage? So now I'm starting to be like, okay, wait a minute. So the kids are asking me why I don't ever speak. God told me to start making videos. I make 3 videos and this pastor books me to come speak. I'm like, huh. And then here was the last piece that really got me. I remember when I spoke at the youth conference, it was the first time in my life that I got that same feeling that I used to get when I played basketball. Like, that feeling I used to get when I played basketball, I got that feeling for the first time ever when I spoke. And like, I was like, I've never felt that feeling again. I'd never forget the last basketball game I ever played, organized basketball game, high school, my senior year. I never forget that year because I love basketball with my whole heart, my whole soul. Probably too much, to be honest. I didn't know who I was without it. And so when I had to stop playing because I turned down basketball scholarships due to a bunch of friction happening in my family, due to a bunch of friction between me and my former head coach, due to just me being a knucklehead that was arrogant and didn't want to listen to nobody, trying to piss my dad off by not going to college because me and him had these issues. So here I am trying to figure out who I am after that. And I never felt that feeling of what I felt when I would be on the court again until my first speaking engagement. And that's when I felt like something had hit. Shout out to E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, who I got the honor of meeting like last summer. And, that dude has been like a father to me, since age 19. And honestly, I looked up to him so much that speaking wasn't far-fetched to me, but it wasn't something I desired. And so as God was giving me all these signs, I was like, maybe I should start speaking. If you're somebody right now watching this, if you're watching this right now, I want you to understand that God never tells you the answer in full. right? God is like a God full of recipes. He gives you piece by piece by piece. And I like to say that when God is giving you a sign, he may give it to you in breadcrumbs. He may show you a sign through one person. He may show you another sign through the sky. He may show you another sign through his word. He may show you another sign through prayer. He rarely ever gives you every piece of the answer that you're looking for, because he will give you just enough to see what you would do with the part that he gave you, to see if you will obey step 1, and then he'll give you step 2, then to see if you will obey step 2, then he'll give you step 3, to see if you will obey step 3, then he'll give you step 4. I know that we prefer to have all of it given to us at once. I promise you, I understand. That's why the podcast is called Sooner Than Later, because I don't like waiting. I don't like being patient. But what the Lord has been cultivating in my heart season after season after season is how to have faith for what he promised, even when I can't see it, even when I can't locate it, even when I can't hear it, even when I'm struggling to believe it. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And when you feel sick, it's hard to trust God. And when I say sick, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about emotionally. I'm talking about spiritually. You might be watching this right now, and that's what you feel like. You feel sick. You might feel sick and tired of waiting on God. Sick and tired of not getting your prayers answered. Sick and tired of being single. Sick and tired of not knowing why you were placed on this earth. Sick and tired of having to start over every time you try to do something. It feels like you take 3 steps forward and 5 steps back. You are sick and tired because hope deferred makes the heart sick. Can I give you an encouraging word right now? Get up. Get up. Get up. Because if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't still be here right now. If God wasn't going to do it for you, he wouldn't have did it for them. He did it before, so he can do it again. And I know you've heard that before, but have you allowed that to inspire you? So often the words that we need to hear are words that may feel cliche because we've heard it before, but it's not about have you heard it. It's about have you tried it. It's not about have you read it. It's about have you tried it. It's not about have you seen it. It's about have you embraced it, because scripture is always there. Inspirational music is always there. Motivational speakers are always there. Preachers preaching is always there. But what you do with it determines what it does for you. You got to make the song work for you. You got to make the message work for you. You got to make the scripture passage work for you. You got to make it work for you. You got to work it. Work that thing for your benefit. Work that thing for your blessing. Work that thing for your miracle. Work that thing for your breakthrough. And stop letting life work you. Whoo! I felt something on that. So after going through all of that with the schools, after going through all that with the church, with the small group, after going through all of that with the job, after going through that with the opportunity, the first speaking engagement, I got another speaking engagement. Now, after I get the second speaking engagement, I'm like, God must be saying something. So I'm like, let me keep making the videos. Let me keep making the videos. And just to fast forward throughout all of that, I ended up starting to preach in churches, started getting booked, got flew out a couple of times, paid, speaking in a school, flew out. I spoke at a church and a school in the same day, got flew out to do both. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be flown out, but flew out is funny. I got a chance to do both in one day. And now here I am. I speak in schools. Like right now, today, as we're talking, I've spoken 3 schools in the last 2 weeks. And really, it's 5 schools because I spoke to a middle school and a high school combined twice. And then just a middle school. So I spoke at 3 middle schools and 2 high schools in the last 2 weeks. All that started off with a video. Oh, by the way, I have over 1 million followers on TikTok. I have over 50,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I have over 60,000 followers on Instagram. Oh, I just make videos for fun. Oh, you thought I just make videos for fun? You thought I just make videos because I want to be popular? You thought I made videos because I want to be known? You thought I made videos because I want to make Remy's name famous? No. God told me while I was at work at a cell phone company to make videos. And this is the fruit This is the fruit of my labor. This is the fruit of my obedience. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because I would have never known in a million years that this is where this was going. So what do you take from this? Your purpose, it's a combination of things. And I'm gonna be honest, I told a lot of this out of order because when I talk about this, I get a little emotional. But the truth is, one thing I must say before I move on to the next point is that a big part of purpose is serving. And I remember all right, let me just say this real quick. Let me just give you like my 2-minute crash course on how to find your purpose real quick. Because I know I'm telling the story and it's a little all out of order, so I just want to be specific. Right now, if you're trying to figure out how to find your purpose, you need to identify what are the things that you're good at. What are some of your gifts? Go take a personality test. Go take a spiritual gift test. It's free online. Go take those tests. I'm giving you this free game. I normally charge people for this. This is free game, okay? Take this note. Take these notes. Go take those tests. Go learn who you are. Go learn what your strengths are. Okay. Learn what your weaknesses are. The more you learn about what you don't like, what you're not good at, the closer you get to your purpose. The more you learn about what you don't want to fool with, what you don't want to deal with, the closer you get to your purpose. Okay. All right. Now from there, I want you to identify what are some of the trauma you've experienced. What are some of the things that you've had to overcome, right? What are some of the things that you had to become, areas you had to become strong in as a result of what you went through? Okay. What is something in the world that burdens you? Something in the world that drives you crazy? World hunger, homelessness, divorce rates, relationships, health, right? Like the environment, what bothers you in the world? Okay. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if you could go back in time, what would you do differently? What was that one moment, that one experience that you're like, I would change that if I could? Take all of that together and combine it. Add your passion. What are you passionate about? And combine it. Oh, I got to say one more. And what's that thing that people always tell you that you should do? 'Cause a lot of times people have already told you, have you ever considered? Remember I told you the kids kept coming to me saying, why don't you ever speak? I'm telling you. And I remember when I made my first video, I was working at AT&T. My coworkers were coming over to me like I remember one of my coworkers started crying. They was like, you don't know what that did for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was very clear I had a voice. The rest just came part by part, piece by piece. So if you're trying to figure out your purpose, that's your crash course on how to find your purpose. Now, I'm almost done. A couple of things I want you to keep in mind with this. All right. Since purpose is something that God gave you, you best believe that the enemy wants to steal it from you. Let's get into that for a second, because I think some of you don't realize that. When you were created, God gave your life a plan. But the same way that God has a plan for your life, the enemy has a plan for your life. The enemy does not want to see you fulfill God's plan for your life. He does not want to see you be prosperous. He does not want you to live a faith-filled life. He does not want you to be successful. He does not want you to have close proximity to your Father. He doesn't want you to be close to God. He wants you to live a life far away from God. That way you will live a life filled with fear. That way you will live a life filled of disobedience. That way you will live a life filled with distance from your Father. That way you will live a life that is on the complete opposite end of purpose, that will lead you to things like depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. That's the life the enemy has for you, wants for you, plans for you. Matter of fact, let's not even say he has it for you, because he doesn't have anything for you. He can just try to infect what God has for you. But what you got to understand is that if you stay close to God, then you get close to purpose. See, no matter what I told you today, you can't do none of that stuff I told you today if you don't first give your life to Christ. If you don't first get close to God, because purpose comes from God. Purpose comes from God. God gives purpose. Purpose is not our choice. We don't choose our purpose. Yeah, you can choose to do things that are purposeful, but your purpose was given to you by God. Your story was given to you by God. And so the closer you get to God, the closer you get to purpose. The more you will understand what you were made for. The more you will understand how to do what God created you to do. The sharper your tools will become. The more and faster you will accelerate in your purpose, because the closer you get to God, the stronger you will be in purpose. But many of us are far from God. And that's the reason purpose does not feel easily locatable. It doesn't feel like something you can touch. It doesn't feel like something that you can get in touch with. But you can. Just let's get close to God first and lend our ears to him. The enemy doesn't want to see you know your purpose, because he knows that as long as he can distract you from your purpose, he can distract you from your destiny. And I always say this: what the enemy knows he can't destroy, he will distract. You know how many people are headed to heaven right now? Like, there's somebody watching this right now, and I want you to know that when you die, you are going to heaven 100%, because you accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You live a life following God, but you don't know your purpose. You don't know what you were made for. And that right there still makes the enemy happy, because the way that he thinks about it is, you know what? I cannot make sure he or she goes to hell. I can't keep them from heaven, but long as I can keep them from winning souls here on earth, long as I can stop them from impacting other people, long as I can make sure they never share their testimony, bam, I got them. I'll take that. The devil's looking at your life right now saying, I'll take that. Because I might not be able to get your soul, but long as I can steal your destiny, long as I can steal your purpose. And we got to feel some type of way about that. We got to allow that to create a righteous anger inside of us. We got to allow that to make us chase God in a way where we fast, where we pray, where we get down on our knees and we say, Lord, show me everything that you have for me. Because I don't want to just have the husband or the wife. I don't want to just have the daughter or the son. I don't want to just have a good paying job. I want to fulfill the purpose that you made me for, because that is the highest and most ultimate level of obedience, is to do and be what God created me for. And I believe on the other side of that there's maximum joy. Woo! That there's maximum blessings. Woo! That there's maximum miracles, not just for me, but even for others. That there's maximum benefits on the other side of that. Talk about there being crowns. You get your crown in heaven, talking about the mansions. How you gonna get anything extra when you down on earth living a basic life? You down on earth living a bare minimum life. And you think when you get to heaven, you finna get a crown? You think you finna get some mansions? You think you finna be riding on them gold? Nah, you finna be in the most basic crib in heaven that heaven got. I don't know. I ain't been to heaven, but my point is, we got to do more. We got to do enough. We got to show up all the way, not just part of the way. Purpose is yours. It belongs to you. You can have it. You already have it. Don't think just because you're not living in your purpose that you don't have a purpose. Don't think just because you're not living in a purpose that God hasn't given it to you yet. It's not something that he's holding on to, waiting to give to you. It's something that he's waiting on you to choose to receive. It's something that he's waiting on you to choose to embrace. It's something that he's waiting on you to choose to partake in. He's waiting on you to choose to pursue the purpose. He's not withholding the purpose from you. You just have to be willing to take the step by step by step by step of things that you don't understand, nor can you make sense of, towards your purpose. But so many of you are not willing to do that because you're scared. You're being led by fear and not by faith. You're uncertain. You have doubt. Don't let your doubt distract you from your destiny. Don't let your doubt distract you from your destiny another day. Choose to start making those videos today. Choose to write that book today. Choose to start that missionary trip today. Choose to start that ministry today. Just choose. That's the number one word. Choose. CHOOSE. You have to make a choice to step into your purpose and to pursue the purpose that God has for you, because he's not withholding it from you. He's waiting on you to step into it, and it's yours to step into. Now, I got to say this. One of the number one reasons why some people go through breakups and they hurt so bad is because they don't have their purpose. Purpose is your parachute. I'm going to say that again. Purpose is your parachute. When you know your purpose, you have something to fall back on no matter how much pain you are in. You can be in a relationship with somebody, and we get in relationships. Oftentimes we have the tendency to abandon ourselves. We have the tendency to say, you know what? I'm going to get so into this person that I'm going to forget about me. I'm going to forget about my life. I'm going to forget about what I enjoy. That's why most of the time when people break up, they can't remember who they are. You can't remember who you were. Usually when the breakup happens, you're like, man, what was I interested in before I met this person? What did I like doing before I met this person? What were my preferences before this person? You can't even remember. You don't even remember what you like to eat because you got so used to eating sushi because she liked sushi, because he liked sushi, because they were so into it. Sushi. That word had me tripped up. Sushi. Purpose is your parachute. It's that thing that you can always go back to, because no matter who did you right, who did you wrong, who was there for you, who wasn't there for you, what mama, what daddy, what uncle, what auntie, what child, it don't matter what else is happening around you. This is the thing that's between you and God. This is your personal assignment. As long as you have your personal assignment that you are committed to, regardless of what happens around you, you will always feel valuable. You will always feel worthy. You will always feel like you have a mission. You will always feel important. You will always feel like you have significance. And so many of us are so busy chasing success that we've abandoned the chase for significance. But guess what? You don't have to chase significance. You just have to walk in your significance by pursuing your purpose. And purpose will be your parachute every single day of the week, no matter what kind of pain you're going through, whether it's health issues, whether it's financial issues, whether it's mental health issues, whether it's heartbreak. I promise you, your purpose will always be your parachute. If you want to live a life that is more sustainable, that is more anchored, that has firmer foundation, start walking in your purpose. Whew. I am telling you right now, purpose is your parachute. I remember I was in a relationship, and I don't want to talk much about it because I don't want to say anything negative about this young lady. But I remember when the relationship ended, I was distraught, and I had a speaking engagement. And I remember I was headed to speaking engagement. Her and I had not talked. And honestly, I was just like, what am I doing? You know, it was such a strange feeling to be headed to I think at that time, the biggest speaking engagement I had ever had. Not by numbers, but just the opportunity at hand. Because I had 2 engagements, and one day I was being flued out. And I was sad. And I got there to the speaking engagement, and I remember I was just like, what am I going to do? Because I'm here to inspire and motivate these kids, and I feel like I have nothing. And I just remember in this moment, like I can see it like yesterday, like I'm getting emotional. I remember where I was standing. I was in the gym waiting on the kids to get out of class. It was probably about 30 minutes before the speech. And I was in the gym walking around, and I was thinking. And if I remember correctly, she texted me, I hope you have a good speaking engagement or something like that. Now keep in mind, we're not even together anymore. We're in a really bad place. She's been acting really weird, not prioritizing me, don't care about what I think about anything at this point. Like, we're in that weird phase after you have broken up, but you guys still are connected in a sense. But I'm over it. Like, I'm done with it because I recognize that this is not for me. I recognize that this is not my person. I recognize that she does not care about me the way I care about her. I recognize that she is more of a distraction than a destiny partner. And so as I've recognized this, and I'm sitting here trying to pull from different places in my heart to do this speaking engagement, she texts me, I hope you have a good speaking engagement. And she texts me very casually. One thing I personally cannot stand is when someone casually, let me say it like this. One thing I cannot personally stand is when someone casually tries to speak to you, talk to you, call you, text you, as if what y'all are going through is not happening. Let's not skip over the problem at hand. Let's not skip over the issue at hand. Let's not skip over where we are. Let's not act like where we are isn't happening. Because if you don't want to talk about the problem, if you don't want to talk about the issues, but you want to just casually encourage me, you just want to casually say hello, that's a no for me. So I saw the message, and I'll never forget it. I didn't respond. I didn't respond. I saw it. I didn't respond. And I remember having this thought that said to me, I wish I could remember the exact words, but I remember having this thought of, this right here is your purpose. And you are here right now for a reason, to do something very important. And you got to show up and do your job. And you're going to be okay. Because you're over here. Oh, this was the thought I had. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I was like, you're sitting here hurting because of something that didn't work out with one girl, with one person. And you got hundreds of kids depending on you right now to give them something that they need. Why would you let what one person think of you matter more than what your purpose matters? Oh my God. In that moment, I experienced it. Purpose is my parachute. And so if you ever want to know how to get over a hard time, how to overcome a challenging season, how to get over that storm in your life, you do it by living in your purpose. Because sometimes the only way you're going to heal, sometimes the only way you're going to get over that thing, sometimes the only way you're going to come out of that dark place is by living in your purpose. Because when you get to that purpose, it's going to bring peace to your nervous system. When you start pursuing that purpose, it's going to give you clarity about your life. When you start chasing down that purpose, it's going to make you feel the significance, the value, the worth that you've always desired. But you got to go after it. In closing, this is what I want you to know. Because purpose is so powerful, there's always going to be a million things fighting for your attention to make you just focus on doing the mundane, the bare minimum. Go to work, take care of your kids, come home, go to sleep, have a little fun on the side here and there by doing whatever activities you do for fun, and go to sleep and wake up and do it again and call it a day, call it a week, call it a month, call it a year. I'm not here to condemn you for every day, month, week, year that you live not in your purpose. I'm here to push you to be a launching pad into your purpose. If you need coaching, reach out to me. Let's make it happen. I would love to coach you in your purpose, towards your purpose. A book that changed my life, Purpose Driven Life. Go get that book. My book, Microwave Dreams, has helped a lot of people with their purpose. You can find it on Amazon. But my point is, don't listen to this entire podcast episode and not go do something to pursue your purpose. Because your purpose matters. 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 You're not here by accident. God placed you here on purpose for a purpose. He gave you gifts. He gave you a calling. He gave you an assignment. And it is pivotal that you live the life that God created you to live. Because what I truly believe is that as you live in your purpose, that the success that you desire is connected to it, that the marriage that you desire is connected to it, that the children that you desire is connected to it, that the healing that you need is connected to it. Because a lot of times the healing that we need is only going to come in us being the person God called us to be. Because as you help others, you walking in that is going to help you. I'm telling you right now, your purpose, your purpose, your purpose, your purpose is bigger than money. It's bigger than money. It's bigger than money. But you got to believe that. You have to trust that. You have to embrace that. And as you live in your purpose, everything else that's for you will be attracted by your choices, by your moves. The purpose will make room for the blessings. The purpose will make room for the opportunities. The Bible says your gifts will make room for you. So, yeah, I believe that this episode is going to change lives. And if you know somebody, send it to them. Go watch it again with a friend. But I gave you the purpose formula. It's up to you to take it, to use it, to run the play, and to believe that your purpose truly matters and that you must live in it, because if you don't, nobody else can do you better than you can do you. Nobody can be better at being you than you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just you. You're the only one. But there are so many people in the world right now that are waiting on you to live in your purpose, to pursue your purpose. Because without you doing that, they may never become who they're supposed to become. They may never know what they're supposed to know. They may never experience what they're supposed to experience. So find your purpose. Find your purpose today. Because God chose you to do what he chose you to do and to be what he chose you to be. Purpose is not one-dimensional. It can look a lot of different ways. Sometimes it may be your job. Sometimes it may not be your job. But regardless, one thing is for sure. It's a mixture of doing and being put together. And I promise you that if you try to find it, it will reveal itself to you, because God is good like that. But you can't find purpose unless you first find God, or should I say allow him to reveal himself to you. Embrace it. Embrace God. Stay close to God, and you will get very close to purpose. No, you won't get close. You'll live in purpose. And I know God has that for you. I love you. Be blessed. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe. Feel free to message me and let me know how this blessed you, how this impacted you, changed your life, because that encourages me to keep going, because putting this podcast together is really challenging. I don't got a team. It's just me. All right. So I appreciate the encouragement. Please drop a comment if you can. That would mean the world to me. And yeah, man, I will see y'all on the next episode. I feel like there's something I'm supposed to announce or tell you, but shoot, I don't know what it is and I can't think of anything. So I'm gonna bounce. I pray that this bless y'all. And remember, your purpose matters. Be blessed. Peace.